Good morning, everyone. We are all Team Philadelphia Eagles, that's for sure, John. Ironically, playing your former team this weekend. And look, I think we all go into this a little unsure at the moment what team we're going to get, where this team's at, whether they're going to turn it around as we sit here a football Friday getting ready for a game we think the Eagles are going to win. How you feeling about the Birds, John? Where are you at? Like, I've been struggling this week, to be completely honest. Like, I have struggled to be where I'm at. I started the week completely out. I've kind of talked myself, but I'm all over the place. How you feeling about this team right now?
I think like everyone else, I have very little confidence that it's hard to remember what they look like when they're good. It's hard to remember how it feels when we get on a roll and, you know, the offense just can't be stopped because, man, that's been a while. The defense has given us flashes, it seems like, for the whole season, just like toughness, great tackling. Vic Fangio's out there staying one step ahead of folks. You know, the defense has sort of kept us afloat, but when the offense has been as bad as it's been, it's just hard to stay upbeat, I guess. This week is weird for me, man. You know, I had a chance to play for this other team for 5 years, and
You went to a Super Bowl with the other team.
Yeah, and back then we were good, and we turned it around, and this was, you know, this was a big deal. We were the team that was 4-12. That John Gruden came and you know, he made me his third draft pick, and you know, that was a real honor, and we turned that thing around. The first 2 seasons we went 8-8, and then our third year was the year we went all the way to the AFC Championship game, and Tony Siragusa broke Rich Gannon in the second quarter, maybe the end of the first quarter, broke his collarbone. We had no chance thereafter. And then year after that was the Tuck Rule game. Year after that, I went to the Super Bowl, and my team faced John Gruden. Year after that, I had a chance to come home and play with this guy that I'd been watching on tape for years, Donovan McNabb. I got to play for Andy Reid, and it was a dream come true. And anyway, very roundabout.
This game has some significance for you. Is the thing.
Are you going, John?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not. But yeah, this is weird for me. That our opponent this week is a team that means a lot to me, a team that has been horrendous.
I think arguably
lately
has been the worst team in football this year. If you really have, there's a few 2-win teams.
You could say the worst team in football
I
for
think
the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, they're up there. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're
with the
right.
Raiders. I mean, with the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been struggling, and for us, that could not come at a better time. I think we can really use it.
Yes.
Look, though, they got a guy, Max Crosby, who can wreck a game.
Yep.
Max Crosby can absolutely wreck our game.
Brock
If
Bowers
we
can wreck
try
a game
to,
offensively too.
That's
they have
true.
a guy on each
It's
side of the
really
ball who's dangerous.
Amazingly skilled tight end who's going to catch everything you throw his way. He's faster than most tight ends, and you know, you have to have a plan to cover him. You have to have a plan to block Max Crosby. But then after that, it kind of falls flat. You know, they have a nice young back that they brought in from Boise State, but they don't have an offensive line.
Oh, their offensive line is giving up 50 sacks.
50 sacks.
The offensive line is just a disaster. And you know Pete Carroll. You know what Pete Carroll wants to do. He wants to run the football. He wants to play good defense, and he doesn't have the guys to run the football up front, and he doesn't have the guys to play defense the way he wants to play on the back end. So he's just sort of trying to struggle to make ends meet, and they've got 2 wins to show for this season. We are so much better than the Las Vegas Raiders are, and this is going to be a get-right game.
It better be, right?
You look at, yes, it's supposed to be a get-right game, and if it's not a get-right game, this is a chance for our team to show us, the fan base, to show themselves, for that matter, hey, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world when you lose 3 games, because you can right the ship. And when you start feeling better about yourselves and things start working and you string plays together and you make a series, you string series together and you make a game where you look back and you say, wow, we controlled the clock this time instead of the other way around, that gives you something to build on. We need to start winning that time of possession battle, because that's what wins football this time of year, and haven't seen that lately.
So here's where I'm at, and we have this, it's like a phenomenon that's almost become a cliche in Philadelphia, where we watch them play and we say, this team's not good, the offense is bad, they're frustrating to watch, and then as the week goes on, we convince ourselves, hey, you know what? They're good. They're still a good team. They've got good players. We've seen these guys succeed. It's to the point where it's a cliche. And you know what? I'm leaning into the cliche right now, because as the week has gone, I started off the week. I went into the Chargers game, John, saying if I don't see a good offensive performances, I'm out. Like, I don't believe in this group moving forward. And I did feel that way watching the game Monday night, especially how bad Jalen played. It just felt like, man, like, this is broken. The offense is broken. And a part of me still feels that way. But as the week goes on, and as I've stepped back, I do look at things like the schedule they played. I mean, I pointed out yesterday, but their last 5 games have been against a 9-3-1 team, an 8-5 team, a 6-6-1, 9-4, 9-4. Like, they played a tough schedule. They played good defenses. The Chargers defense is a good defense, and they've been in all these games. The Bears game is the only game that I feel like they got physically beaten. The Bears game feels like a bit of an anomaly to me, is my point. Like, they've been in every game. They've had bad halves. They've had great halves. And they've come back, and they've blown leads. But the Bears game felt like the only game where they got beat for 60 minutes. It felt like the only game where they got dominated. My personal belief.
The first Giants game.
Yes, I forgot about that. I'm talking in the last 5.
Yeah.
I
don't blame you.
Run.
It's not even worth remembering.
I'm talking right now.
Yeah,
I'm talking right now. In this last 5 or whatever. Like, I feel like the only game they got dominated in was that Bears game. And like, they're so much better than the Raiders. Like, they are so much better than a trash Raiders team that's coming across the country for a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday. Like, I think they're going to show up on Sunday, at least to the point where I think they're going to, like, I actually think they're going to cover the spread. I've gone to the point where I think they're going to win by double digits. Like, I think I think the Eagles have almost become a little underrated right now.
Oh,
and they're not playing. No, look, I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl, Rhea. Don't get me wrong. I have to see so much more to believe they're going on a real run. But we're talking about playing the Raiders on Sunday. The Raiders are horrible. I think they are the worst team in football.
You do know the Raiders lost by 1 point to the Bears, 1 point to the Jags. They, in 2 losses to the Broncos in the past couple of weeks, by a combined 10 points.
Yeah, well, they were down a lot to the Broncos, and they came back at the end and got some BS points at the end with Pickett. They kicked a field goal to make it 7 points and 10 points with no time on the clock.
Like, and it's not as much though about the Raiders. It's about the Eagles, who offensively are underperforming.
But look, we've seen a lot of people.
At a historic
we've seen
rate.
people, whether Ross Tucker, Jason Kelsey, Dan Orlovsky, all these people have come out and been like, I actually was pretty encouraged with what we saw from a scheme perspective on Monday night. And it would make sense. It takes time to implement those changes, to run them efficiently. And look, Jalen was awful on Monday night. He was awful. Here's my thing. If they can go back to Jalen looking like what he looked earlier in the season, which isn't great, but wasn't turning the football over, if they can just tighten up some of the mistakes, this defense is great. Like, they have a great defense. They have a really good special teams. Like, they can win tight football games moving forward. I'm not saying they're going to win a bunch of them, but, I think we've gone too far with – I don't think it's 2023. That's where I'm at. I don't think they're collapsing. I think they're going to right this ship.